If you look at your agenda, if you could take a look at your agenda, see if there's any additions that you'd like to see for the in the agenda, and then we'll do an approval of the agenda as is. No, we're good. Okay. I just want to add, I just want to mention in other business that I'm on the homelessness committee, and just maybe mention, fill the folks in on that. I'm on there as personal interest, but also partially because I'm on the board. So if that looks good, I think we'll do a hand, if you just show a hand for who would like to approve and second it. So is there someone who would like to approve the agenda? Becky, and seconder, Leanne. We'll go either to item number 3, which are declarations of pecuniary interest. Oh, all in favor? Excellent, thank you. Sarah's helping me out. She's in that. Thank you, Sarah. Item number 4 is approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Are there any items that we need to address or discuss for that? If not, can I have a mover and a seconder for approval of the minutes? Becky and Shirley.
Okay.
All in favor? Excellent. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Doesn't look like it. I don't think we have to do mover and seconder for that. No. Correspondence. I'd like to welcome Sherry here. Sherry is going to be taking care of filling us in with library discussions. So Sherry, do you know if there's any correspondence that we need to address? No? Okay, I see you.
Nothing I'm aware of right now.
Excellent, okay, sounds good, thanks. And my apologies, Sherry, for not introducing you earlier. I'll be introducing our other guests later when they join the call. So thank you, Sherry, I appreciate it, and I really appreciate having you with us tonight. Item number 7 are the financial reports. We have 2 sections. 7.1 are the accounts payable, and as per other meetings, we will do it in a bundle. And so if you have any comments or questions to the accounts payable? If not, can I have a mover and a seconder to accept Matt and John?
Yep.
Excellent, thank you. All in favor? Great, thank you. The next item is budget 2021. Sherry, is it all right if I say that this is very preliminary, that you are working on it and working very hard on it? We had a very good meeting. John and I met with Sherry. So it's a preliminary budget. It will be coming to us again, I believe, in January. So it's more an awareness for you as when moving forward. Sherry, would you like to address that a bit more?
Sure, I wish I was ready, but I'm not. And I have met with Bernice and John and Becky Belfour and Julia Merritt, the PECIN's helper there, in really hopes to have things in order for tonight, but I don't. But I do have some things that I do know that I wanted to make sure I shared with you. And I guess the first thing I want you to know is that the library is going to be receiving an unconditional OMFP grant of $93,483. So that will really help our budget lines this year. And then we also have the COLA, the step increases. North Perth did a market review in a salary market review in 2020. And some of our part-time staff, there was new requirements that enable some of our part-time staff to start receiving benefits. So all that will definitely increase our staffing budget. The other thing I wanted to make sure I shared with you was that our computer maintenance line will be increasing from $28,000 in 2020 to $90,675 in 2021. I asked Becky if she could kind of give me layman's terms of why that's happening so I could explain that to you. And what she's explained to me is that the North Perth, our IT department used to be part of our financial department, but in 2021, it's going to be becoming its own separate department. And so they've devised a formula to determine the cost of maintaining each computer for our municipality. And now these costs are being passed down to each department. And as you know, the library has a significant number of computers, a significant number. And so that's what's determining our increase of over $60,000. You know, certainly if we do need some more explanation, I think, you know, Becky or Fran or someone could help me out and give you more. But bottom line is our administrative computers will cost, which is what we use for circulation at our circ desks and things, will be a $17,500 maintenance fee versus $6,000. In Atwood, where we have 2 computers, the cost will be $5,850. Moncton, we've increased our computers there. We've got some nice brand new computers in hopes that people will use our building, but that will increase our cost from $3,000 to $17,000. And in Listowel, where we do our significant amount of foot traffic with people using our computers, it's going up to almost $50,000. So that's, I just want everybody to be aware of that before the actual budget came, that there is an explanation for that high increase. And one of the real reasons I haven't been able to finish the budget is I don't know how to, or we're not quite ready to budget for the occupancy cost for the new Moncton branch. In the past, you know, in Moncton, we pay for our own propane or our own hydro, but now we're going to be paying an occupancy cost, and that amount just hasn't been determined as of yet. They're working on it, and once I'm given that amount, or the library's board's given that amount, we'll allocate it into our budget. I put a guesstimate in there at this point, but it truly is just a guesstimate. I just guessed with all the other amounts, and so until we get that, we really can't final anything. But with my guesstimate at that point, our operating budget looks pretty much status quo. It's a very small increase based on the cost of the salary increases. But the new grant we got pretty much offsets the computer grant. So that's pretty much what I know about the budget at this point. I do know that the next council meeting is January 13th, when the budgets will be presented. So I'll have to talk to Chris, or, you know, and see what the bottom line really is for the library at that point. I think the library board meets the night before that.
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions? I mean, there's not much information there, but that's what I know at this point. Good. Good. I don't know much more than that.
Just so you're aware, Sherry has been taking care of things at the library. One, we really appreciate your expertise, Sherry. And she asked that John and I participate with her in terms of discussions with the budget and that sort of thing. So I just wanted the rest of the board to be aware of that it's Sherry's got the heavy load, but we're trying to assist wherever we're able to, and provide discussion points and that sort of thing, just so that you're aware of that. Matt, and then Terrence.
Thank you, everyone. Just maybe you don't know, Sherry, or I can follow up with Eric tomorrow. I just find some of those maintenance costs, like with that IT transference and going on their own, of which I am aware of, to that, like some of that, is that going to be an annual fee? Like that seems to be.
That's my understanding.
I can understand maintenance, but we're not replacing them every year. That just seems to be an awful monumental jump. Like that is absolutely significant. Like when it's going for like from 27K up to 90K, that's a big
I think
jump.
Yeah, it's gone from.
I'd like to see that formula.
And I think they have that actually, Matt. Like Becky really explained it to me very well, but you know, it was a little higher level than what I'm able to explain to you. So yeah, that would be something there is a formula for that, and there's a fairly specific explanation. All departments are getting the same. Just so happens the library has far more computers than most departments do.
I just wonder if a lot of that includes actual subscriptions and maintenance and actual
It's
software that's included, like in
yes,
the PCIN
everything.
and stuff like that. So that could be obviously elevated cost because that would be on a different budget line, like a
It's
line
all
item
of that.
the.
What it costs to run a computer and to replace. I think the replacement fee is in there. If something goes down, then it's automatically replaced. Yeah, it's all the software and the hardware and the actual, not just their day-to-day work at it, but they've included all those budgets, or all those figures for that number.
I'll follow up as a sidebar to that. That's not a problem. That's great. Thank you.
Thanks. Terrence?
My question was very similar. I just was wondering what do we get for $91,000? That's what I was wondering. It's been answered through Matt. The other question I have is I had trouble today getting the statistics. Will you be sending the budget the same way? I noticed on my sheets all the numbers are missing. I don't know if it's my computer, but the Excel spreadsheets would not show any of the numbers.
I don't know how has the budget been sent in the past.
Well, that's why I'm saying, will we have a look at it before the 13th?
I would assume, and I will check into that, Terry, and get back to you. I don't know the process of how that's happened in the past. I think you normally get your numbers on the Friday, or your budget, your board package on the Friday, correct? And then
Yes.
meeting it on the Tuesday?
Yeah. So yours, Terrence, you said that you didn't have any numbers in the Excel sheet?
In the statistics sheets, on the statistics sheets that are done on an Excel, none of the numbers came through. And I believe I did send a note back to the a person who sent me the package, but I was just wondering if we do get the budget package, will it be sent similar on an Excel spread? Because I'm not sure what the problem is. It's likely my end, but none of the numbers are showing on the Excel spreadsheets.
So PDFs are better then?
Yes.
Okay, and I actually do know about the stat one, because that's something that I've always looked after, and that can be sent as a PDF. I just never really thought about doing that. I just send it in the way that I have it. But yeah, that we can send things in PDFs for sure. That's something that we can do.
Thank you.
The other thing I didn't mention was we did decrease some of our costs by 25% because of COVID, because we certainly, when it comes to our overdue fines and our printing costs and what we're bringing for faxes, we know that we figured 25% would take us till March, and definitely, COVID definitely has affected us at the library. So that has been taken into consideration in the budget also. Bernice and John and I talked about that on Monday.
Okay. So as I said, the budget is a work in progress. Sherry's working on it very diligently, and then in January, then we'll have an opportunity to look at numbers and have further discussion on it. Is there anything else that you'd like to add with that, Sherry?
No, I think for the budget, that's it, I think.
Okay, anyone else have questions? Do we need to do a mover and seconder for the budget portion? Because it's more of a discussion point than, let's leave it at, it's a discussion point. And forgive me if I'm wrong, we'll correct it later, if that's all right. All right, then we'll move to item number 8, oops, sorry, Matt.
Unmute. If nothing else, I think would because also we have the accounts payable and we bundled them together. It would be better to have
sorry.
a
I thought
mover
I
and a
had-
seconder, and it would just it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it after the fact. So we could probably do a mover and a seconder, and approve the accounts payable and receive the budget information as information.
Right, sorry, I thought I had done the accounts payable. So can we have a mover and seconder for the accounts, for the financial report? Becky and Terrence, all in favor? Thank you. That sounds good. That's how I feel right now.
Hey, Matt, I'm having a hard time hearing you, Matt. Is that just me, or is everybody in the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit
Everyone hear me?
quiet, yeah.
I'm trying a new headset and it doesn't seem to be very successful.
Really hard to hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Nope.
Keep talking.
I'm actually going to change.
Well, that's better. Wait a minute. Oh. He's gonna.
Hi, Matt.
Is anyone better? Is that better?
Oh,
That's
that's
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
you.
I'm just going to go back to my work headset then. I thought I would kill two birds with one stone and use the other headset that I was provided, but I don't think that's very good.
No, this is great. Thank you. And again, my apologies. I know I'm rushing through things, but I would like to have a bit of discussion time as the evening progresses. So, but we will go to item number 8, the Friends report. Becky?
Yeah,
Do you have
so,
to sh-
yeah. Sorry, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
So some good news is that the weekend we had at the tree farm was extremely successful. The bad news is that Sunday was their last day because they don't have any more enough trees to do another weekend.
Wow.
So this was the third weekend that we just had, and I was there on Saturday, and it was unbelievably busy all day. Like the parking lot was packed. I got there just about 11 because my son had to work in the morning, so we went over together. And they said at 9 o'clock it started, and we didn't stop until 5. I think there was well over 120 trees or something went out of there, but like it was crazy. It's crazy busy, which was great. So then Saturday night they decided that Sunday would be the last day for UCUT because they just couldn't guarantee having another weekend with a lot of people coming. And if there wasn't the trees available, then they didn't want people disappointed. So they posted it on Facebook Saturday night that Sunday would be the last day. And I thought Sunday would be really, really busy, but actually it was just steady. People called to see if they could still come. And what they did was they said, you can go out and look first. If you find a tree, then you can come back and pay because before Saturday, the 2 weekends before, people had to prepay. And then they went and got their tree and then they just left after that because of COVID and everything. So anyway, it was successful 3 weekends, but like I said, it's not going to go on for another weekend. So Tracy and I were supposed to be there this weekend, so we've canceled that. And actually next year, they won't be doing the UCUT either. Like they'll pre-order trees that will come in that will be pre-cut because they have to wait a couple of years for their stock to grow. So it's going to be another couple of years before they can do the UCUT again. So, but they had a lot of donations for the greenery and everything that they have out there for the library. So Christine's going to get everything together, and whether we want to do a photo op, in January because they have that big check, or whether because of COVID we maybe just want to wait. They can give us the amount, but then we could do like a formal check presentation later on when everything is maybe a bit safer. But anyway, it was really successful, so it was good. So that's all I have.
I also volunteered a day out there earlier on, and it's such a feel good time. And people genuinely know that it's part of their their pay is going to the library, and it feels really good. I sent Bernice on a little thing, John Nader on his Facebook page or Twitter page. His family came out the weekend I was there, and he commented that part of the proceeds were going to the library, and commented on what a nice family day it was.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it was a little. There were some people too. You could tell Christine had been getting calls from people from like as far away as Toronto, wanting to come get trees, but they were kind of advising no because we're in the hot zone, so they didn't really entertain them to come if they called ahead. But I'd say there were a lot of new faces this weekend too, because you kind of remember people from year to year. But overall, it was good. It was a good experience. And yeah.
Becky, thank you so much. That's a lot of time to donate to that, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and Brandy helped one weekend, and Sherry was there too. Santa was there on the weekend. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Santa he was there from 12 till 3 on Saturday. He just walked around and talked to the kids and everything. When they came up with their trees, he talked to them. And then Sunday, same kind of thing. He got, he could do a picture if people kind of stood in front of him. So that was nice too for him to be there. So
Excellent, great. Thanks for that.
yeah,
That's
no problem.
and thanks Sherry for being there as well. If there's nothing else to add, number 9, I don't believe we have any board development for this meeting or trends for discussion. Other business, I just wanted to mention, because of the hub and different groups that are involved, I ended up, I'm going to the homelessness committee out of personal interest. I lived in the inner city in Edmonton when I lived in Edmonton for 4 years. And obviously in the inner city, particularly the area I lived in, it was a real issue. So it's always been a real passion of mine. And I chose to live there. I lived in a housing cooperative that was people living in the housing cooperative. Most of us were working in the arts and that sort of thing. So part of it was we couldn't afford necessarily housing in more exclusive areas, but also it was a conscious decision to contribute to within the community and in the inner city. And so I wanted to be on the committee here, but I'm also doing it because as we've heard in previous meetings, and Sherry, you may address this, that you get quite a combination of customers or clients in the library that may be part of that demographic. And I really wanted to learn more to assist me in my understanding as we go by, as we continue on with the library, and particularly with their discussions with the hub. So I just wanted to put it out there just so that people are aware of that. So at this point, item 12.1 is the hub update. Chris, I'm not sure if you are now available. It might be better for you to give the hub update, or, oh, there he is. Oh, and sorry.
Go ahead, sorry, Bernice.
I should introduce you. I'm sure you know everybody. On this call, we have Chris Snell, the CAO of North Perth, joining us. And in a little bit, we will have Jen Robinson, who's in charge of HR with North Perth. So Chris is obviously been highly involved with the hub. So I thought it would be great if he could address that. Just give us an update.
So certainly since we put the application in and were since denied, we've continued to work with the United Way, involving the library through those processes, with looking at what a plan B and possibly a plan C look like. So at the staff level, Ryan and Rebecca and Helen, Ryan and Helen from the United Way, we have been having ongoing conversations throughout COVID, having some discussions with possible tenants. Helen's reported that there's actually more tenants looking to either come on board or increase their space as a result of some of the COVID activity. One of the things we've also looked at too is even how can agencies using technologies like Zoom and other platforms service clients remotely that may live in North Perth, but their client center might be Stratford or even further away. So we've looked at even adding things like Zoom meeting rooms and those sort of things in the hub. So really, right now, we just recently had a meeting with the library chair and deputy chair, along with the mayor and the United Way group from North Perth, and we will be bringing back a proposal or an option to proceed in early in the new year that will both go to North Perth Council and to the library board on some options that we want to move forward on how we fund or build the hub. Just one of the things that's certainly been talked about, and this isn't confirmed or anything yet, but one of the things that it kind of fits in with Bernice's earlier conversation about homelessness is one of the things that we know we're missing in our community is supportive housing. So one of the things we're looking at is, can we do a supportive housing model in conjunction with the hub? Certainly we'll have to make sure that although they may be connected, that there's still separate entities and all the security features in place for both the people who may use housing separate from the hub offices and the library. But whether that's going up a third floor or even something being built on the same site as the library and hub. And certainly, just in our meeting with John and Bernice, certainly there was strong advocacy that the library is still the main tenant of this building and will be the primary tenant. And so we just want to make sure that that's also fulfilled through this goal, as we really want to make a library that's more functional than what we have now, and actually has more services than what we have now for both for all people that use our library services, and also make a more functionable space for our staff to offer library programs. Because I think certainly what I've learned, I'm by far not an expert in offering library services, but we are limited just with the physical layout of our current Listowel Library branch on what staff are able to offer and how easy it is to manage that facility. So library is still going to be front and center, and we're going to make sure that we get both the space and the functionality that we need. And yet hopefully we can find a floor layout that meets all the requirements for people who need space to offer their services in our community too, through the hub model. I think that's all I really have, but I can certainly answer any questions, Bernice, if anybody has any, or if you want to add any, you or John want to add anything, feel free.
I don't think I really need to have add anything with any of those meetings. I've been asking John to join me as vice chair. Those two hats are better than one, and I think the relationship with all parties has been very productive. And we're in a challenging environment anyway, but there are options out there. So, Leanne.
Yes, thanks, Bernice. Through you, just wondered, Chris, knowing we get the grant, we know and that there's be a need community, right, with the hub and these agencies needing space and some work to be done in our library. Are you thinking that it might be something that would be, you know, looking at a plan for, you know, drawings for next year or this year? What do you like? I mean, next 21, 22, what are your thoughts? Are there other grants that we can seek out? What are your thoughts on that?
Certainly I think working with the IA, we're going to bring forward a couple of options. I'm a little reluctant to get into them right now because I know Brian's doing a lot of work on what's feasible yet, but it probably could include things like public-private partnerships, those sort of opportunities. So we're kind of going down all avenues. We suspect that there's not going to be a ton of money for recreation and culture, even if there is an infrastructure program announced. Now, that's just a hunch, but I think if there is an infrastructure program announced, it's going to be more hard services again. That's just my thought. I could be wrong, but that seems to be sort of what the industry is thinking anyway at this time. And I suspect that 21 is still going to be a planning year, and if anything, we'd be looking at something starting in 2022. But those are just my thoughts. We haven't really talked yet on specific timing yet because it's still pretty early. But certainly, I guess I could add that at the meeting, certainly, Mayor Todd expressed concern that the current library um, has some things that need looked after, and we don't want to be spending good money after bad just to have that facility um, limp along for the next number of years. We really do have to make some decisions fairly quickly, so we're not spending countless amounts of maintenance money just to keep the doors open, and when it probably needs to be full replaced at some time.
Thanks, Chris. So it sounds like it wouldn't be in this budget, like in this coming budget, probably the next budget.
I mean,
or
that's just
later.
that's my hunch, just because of the options are going to take some time to get out there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion, comments on the hub portion, questions? No? We're going to move into 12.2. Sherry, thank you so much for joining us, and I appreciate your participating in the meeting. I really appreciate that. Sherry is going to finish with us now because we've done the library business portion, and so thank you, Sherry. I'm sure we'll be talking again. At this point, item 12.2, I would like to make a motion for us to to proceed in camera. Is there Becky? And seconder will be Matt. So all in favor? We're going in camera in an in-camera session regarding personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, regarding North Perth Public Library staff. And at this point, I would like to invite Jen Robinson. Hi, Jen.
that should actually be the 12th. The 17th is a
Well, I
Sunday,
thought
isn't
so.
it?
The 12th.
Yeah, 17th is a Sunday.
Okay. Also, just a reminder, we will be doing elections on that day as well, so give that some thought. So unless there's anything else that you would like to discuss, could I have a mover and seconder for adjournment? I can't see folks, so if someone could say,
I'll move. I'll move to adjourn.
that's John, I believe.
John. Yeah.
I'll
And-
second that.
And that was Matt. All in favor?
In favor.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That was.
I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas too.
Yes.
That is up and coming before our next meeting. So
Oh, yeah.
happy holidays.
You as well.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you, Chris, for joining us, and extend my thanks to Jen as well. We really appreciate your expertise in
Well,
handling.
I wish it was under better circumstances, but
Yeah.
I'm certainly happy to help any way we can. So we'll do some work and certainly like to wish everybody happy holidays too, for sure. So
All right.
take care.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Happy
Merry
holidays.